Close your eyes. Imagine waking into a morning so still, so perfect, it feels almost untouched by the world. Sunlight spills softly across the floor. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves outside, and for a breath, you stand inside a frame of peace. Yet you know how quickly that frame can shatter. A sudden message, a sharp word, an unexpected setback. Life strikes fast, and usually it drags you with it into anger, tension, frustration. But what if today was different? What if, instead of being swept away, you took a slow breath, observed the storm rising inside you, and chose clarity over chaos, discipline over impulse? In that single pause, you discover a freedom no one can touch. This is what every soul longs for, an inner fortress that remains unshaken when the world is in turmoil. It is the gift the Stoics have guarded for over 2,000 years, a truth repeated by Marcus Aurelius in Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Stay with me. Together, we will train the mind to mastery, not just to survive the storm, but to walk through life with wisdom, courage, and an unbreakable spirit. Number 1. The crucial difference between reacting and responding. Think back to a recent moment when you lost control. Maybe a colleague made a sarcastic remark. Maybe a loved one let you down. Or perhaps you were stuck in traffic under the blazing sun for hours. In that instant, you snapped, words spilled out, or you withdrew in silent resentment, only to regret it afterward. That is reaction, an instant spark, like lightning tearing across the sky, but leaving behind a scorched peace within. Responding is different. Responding is about taking a deep breath, observing the storm rising inside, and then choosing words and actions calmly. Response doesn't kill the fire in you. It transforms it into a warm light that illuminates yourself and others. The Stoics pointed out long ago that this difference is where true freedom resides. Epictetus once wrote, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." When you react, you hand over the keys of your mind to the outside world. But when you respond, you keep the power in your own hands, allowing reason, not raw emotion, to lead the way. So, which will you choose? To be a slave to impulses that flare and fade, or to be the master of your life, guided by clarity and wisdom? Imagine sitting in a meeting and being suddenly criticized by your boss in front of everyone. The typical reaction is to flush red, lash back, or stew in bitterness all day. But a response would be to pause, listen fully, and then calmly address the issue or resolve to improve. In that moment, you preserve your dignity and show maturity. The same applies at home, where we often react the most. A child spills milk. You could snap in anger, or you could respond, guide them to clean it up, teaching responsibility. Reaction breeds fear. Response builds trust. The difference between a tense household and a true home lies right there. Yes, it is hard. Reaction is instinct, like pulling your hand from fire. But if you only live by instinct, you will always be tossed about like a leaf in the wind. Stoicism advises us to use that small space between stimulus and action as the refuge of consciousness. Just a few seconds of breath, a pause, can change everything. So how do you practice? When someone says something irritating, silently count to 5 before speaking. When stress hits, breathe deeply instead of firing back. When news unsettles you, ask, is this within my control? Small acts, repeated daily, are the bricks of a responsive mind. And when you practice this, life begins to shift. Arguments become opportunities for understanding. Failures become lessons. And everyday stress becomes a training ground for calmness. Life grows lighter because you change the way you meet it. Every time you choose to respond instead of react, you're gently building an inner strength that nothing can shake. You become a steady presence, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. In our fast-changing world, that choice is powerful. While stress and chaos sweep through, the one who stays calm not only holds their ground, but also becomes a quiet light for others. And it's from this strength that we step into the next lesson, where self-control becomes the solid ground for a steady mind. Number 2, the importance of responding in today's world. The world often praises being blunt or speaking your truth. But let's be honest with ourselves. How many times have you exploded with emotion, only to regret it afterward? We're told to say it right away, or to always be true to your feelings. Yet the truth is, most impulsive reactions only add more chaos and cost us the one thing we can't afford to lose: self-control. This is where Stoicism flips the script. It doesn't tell us that emotions are the enemy. Instead, it warns us that becoming a slave to them is the greatest failure of all. Think of Epictetus, once a slave, who rose to become one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He is living proof that your circumstances don't define you. As he said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Even in what seemed like tragedy, Epictetus showed that a person can remain unbroken not because of physical power or social status, but because of the ability to choose their response instead of reacting. His life is a timeless reminder that true freedom doesn't come from the outside world. It begins and ends in your own mind. And modern science now echoes what the Stoics lived 2,000 years ago. A study titled Emotion Regulation Strategies in Daily Life, with 88 participants over 7 days and 538 recorded negative emotional events, revealed a striking truth. The more intense the emotion, the more likely people were to fall into rumination, replaying painful thoughts again and again, while their ability to use reappraisal, reframing, changing perspective dropped sharply. In simple terms, without training the mind to respond, we get trapped in cycles of suffering that last far longer than the event itself. Now look at our modern world. Social media arguments explode into waves of hostility over a single harsh comment. At work, a poorly written email can derail an entire day when anger takes control. In a hyper-connected society, every impulsive reaction is amplified 100-fold, often costing us not just relationships, but opportunities, trust, and reputation. That is why the ability to respond thoughtfully has never been more urgent. Instead of letting emotions pull your strings like a puppet, ask yourself, is this really worth losing my peace over? One slow breath, one short pause, one wider perspective. These are small actions, but powerful enough to turn instinctive reaction into deliberate response. Start with the smallest arenas of daily life. When you're stuck in traffic, instead of honking in rage, breathe deeply and use the moment to practice patience or even listen to something uplifting. When criticized, resist the urge to defend yourself instantly. Listen, extract the value, discard the nonsense, and move forward. When plans collapse, don't dwell on the loss. Look instead for what can still be built from what remains. Every choice you make in these moments is like reclaiming another piece of territory from the grip of your emotions. And this is about more than keeping your mind calm. Each time you respond instead of react, you are shaping a character of weight and integrity, a person others trust, respect, and even lean on. In a chaotic world, such people are not only rare, they are essential. And for that strength to be more than just fleeting moments, for it to become a part of who you truly are, it requires steady, deliberate practice. The question is, how do we turn this ability into a lasting habit? One that stays with us even when life's storms strike without warning. The answer lies in the next principle, where we'll uncover concrete ways to train the mind until self-mastery becomes second nature. Number 3, training the mind to respond with intention. Think of your mind as a garden. If left unattended, weeds will grow, choking out the good seeds and stealing the sunlight. If left untrained, raw emotions and impulsive reactions overrun your inner space. But if you cultivate it, planting, pruning, and caring day after day, it flourishes. Flowers bloom, fruit ripens, peace takes root. Training the mind to respond rather than react is exactly like gardening. It requires patience, attention, and daily practice. But every small step brings transformation. The first strategy is cultivating self-awareness. Picture yourself standing by a river, watching waves rush by. The waves are your emotions: anger, fear, jealousy, frustration. But you are not the wave. You are the observer on the bank. Neuroscientists have shown that mindfulness-based practices like simply observing your emotions can reduce anxiety and strengthen resilience. The next time a colleague criticizes you, notice your racing heartbeat, your flushed face, your clenched fists. Then ask, what truly needs protection right now, my ego or the truth? That single question can shift the entire course of your response. The second strategy is mastering the pause. Between every stimulus and response lies a moment of freedom. One deep breath before replying to a harsh email. 3 slow exhales before engaging in an argument. A short walk instead of a heated reaction. These pauses are not weakness. They are power. Like brakes on a steep hill, they stop you from plunging into the abyss of impulse. The third strategy is reframing perspective. The world outside doesn't always change, but your lens can. Failure is not an end, but training in endurance. Rejection is not humiliation, but redirection. Imagine stumbling on stones along a path. You can see them as obstacles and curse your misfortune, or you can see them as weights strengthening your steps. Same event, different meanings, entirely different life. Another practical strategy is to practice voluntary hardship. Epictetus once reminded us, "You must live by rule, submit to diet, abstain from dainty meats, exercise your body perforce at stated hours, in heat or in cold, drink no cold water, nor, it may be, wine." His words weren't just about discipline for the body, but training for the spirit. You can try small exercises yourself, take a cold shower in the morning, skip a meal for a few hours, or switch off your phone and sit with the silence. These little hardships are like lifting weights for the mind. The more you train, the stronger you grow. And when life throws a real storm your way, you'll find you're already prepared to stand firm. Finally, make reflection a ritual. Seneca ended each day by asking himself, "Where did I give in to impulse? Where did I live according to principle?" You can do the same by journaling. Write down one moment you reacted and one moment you responded. Feel the difference. See the contrast. Each line is a stepping stone toward mastery of self. And the beauty is, these are not lofty theories. They are habits you can start today, right now. When you close your laptop, when you walk into the kitchen, when you speak to your loved ones. Responding instead of reacting won't make you cold. It will make you the steady captain steering your ship through waves, no matter how wild the sea. So here's my challenge for you. Choose just one strategy. Maybe it's the pause, maybe it's reframing, maybe it's reflection, and commit to it today. Write it in the comments below. Today, I will practice pausing before I respond. Or today, I will reframe setbacks as opportunities. By sharing, you're not just making a promise to yourself, you might inspire someone else who desperately needs that reminder. Because change begins when thought turns into action. And with every mindful response, you are training your mind, shaping your character, and reclaiming your freedom. And now, let us move forward. Even with these strategies in hand, one question remains. How do we harness the power of self-awareness and the wisdom of the pause to anchor us when emotions rise? That is the next step on our journey. Number 4, the power of self-awareness and the pause. When speaking of the power of self-awareness and the pause, a memory comes to mind, one that still lingers deeply within me. It was a family dinner, seemingly warm and peaceful, until a small remark of criticism suddenly shifted the atmosphere. My chest tightened, my face flushed with heat, and in that fleeting moment, just one impulsive reaction could have turned a simple meal into a bitter argument. But I did something different. I paused. I took a deep breath. I listened to the gentle clink of the spoon against the bowl, allowing that quiet to cool the storm within me. And in that breath, the anger softened. I was no longer a prisoner of my emotions. I became the observer. From that stillness, I chose to respond with calm and understanding, rather than react in a way that would wound someone I love. That is the power of self-awareness and the pause. We often believe that strength lies in how quickly we respond, but sometimes the greatest strength is found in our ability to slow down. The Stoics reminded us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. This spirit is also echoed in the teachings of Christ, where gratitude and forgiveness are seen as keys that unlock peace. When we forgive others, when we remain patient in the midst of trials, we do not only release them from the weight of their mistakes, we also liberate ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment. Forgiveness is a form of freedom, and gratitude is the doorway to peace. They all lead us to one truth. Silence is not weakness. It is the foundation of real strength. Modern science confirms this. Neuroscientists have shown that when we pause and breathe, the parasympathetic nervous system activates. Heart rate slows. Stress hormones drop. The brain shifts from fight or flight to clarity and reason. Just a few seconds of stillness can transform the outcome of an entire situation. So how do we practice this in daily life? Start by listening to your body. Notice the racing heartbeat, the clenched fists, the tightened shoulders. That's your signal. When you catch it, insert a pause. 3 deep breaths, a sip of water, a brief closing of the eyes. That pause is the handbrake that keeps you from crashing down the slope of impulse. Apply it in ordinary life. When your child cries in a crowded store, instead of yelling, pause, kneel down, meet their eyes, and listen. When another driver cuts you off, instead of blasting the horn, pause, relax your shoulders, exhale longer. When a message stings your heart, instead of firing back instantly, pause, set the phone down, step outside, look at the sky. Small pauses, repeated daily, build a fortress of calm within you. Self-awareness is also a mirror of the soul. Seneca once wrote, "I make use of this opportunity, daily pleading my case at my own court. When the light has been taken away and my wife has fallen silent, aware as she is of my habit, I examine my entire day, going through what I have done and said. I conceal nothing from myself. I pass nothing by." He believed that daily self-examination was more than just a routine. It was a journey inward, a confrontation with the self to discern what must be kept and what must be released. You can practice this by journaling. Write down one situation where you reacted and another where you responded. How did the emotions differ? What was the outcome in each case? Each page you write is a step closer to mastering yourself, to becoming the kind of person who does not merely move through the world, but consciously shapes how they move within it. And here's the beauty. The pause doesn't just protect you. It transforms how others see you. A person who pauses before speaking radiates calm and reliability. A leader who pauses commands respect without shouting. A parent who pauses teaches patience without punishment. A friend who pauses listens with presence rather than interruption. Imagine a society where everyone paused before reacting. Wouldn't there be fewer arguments, fewer wounds, more bridges built instead of divides? One slowed word, one delayed action could turn conflict into connection. So from today, let the pause be your ally. Set a reminder on your phone. Pause, breathe, observe. Choose a moment to practice each day before meals, after calls, before responding to any message. These tiny pauses will ripple outward, shaping not only your mind, but the way you live. And once you've grown familiar with the power of the pause, you'll be ready to step into a deeper layer. The art of reframing and focusing on what is within your control. Because sometimes With just a shift in perspective, you don't merely change the moment, you redirect the course of your destiny. This journey still holds many wonders ahead, and they're waiting for you, just beyond your next conscious breath. Number 5. Reframing perspectives and focusing on what you control. Maya Angelou, the poet, writer, and a symbol of America's spiritual resilience, endured a childhood marked by immense suffering, abuse, racial discrimination, and years of silence brought on by deep psychological trauma. These were experiences that could have crushed anyone. But instead of letting the past define her, she reframed her entire experience. She transformed pain into creative expression, turned wounds into the power of words. From those very scars, Maya wrote works that stirred the hearts of millions, most notably, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, the autobiography that established her as an eternal voice for strength and freedom. The moment Maya Angelou stepped out of the shadows wasn't because the world around her had changed. It was because she changed the way she saw the world. Instead of reacting with rage or bitterness, she responded with creativity, compassion, and art. And that act of transformation allowed her not just to survive, but to become a guiding light for generations to come. Her story reminds us, tragedy is not the end of the sentence. It can be the beginning. If we know how to reframe our perception, we'll find opportunity in the wreckage, light within the darkness. This is the essence of Stoicism. We cannot control the world, but we can always control our perspective and our response. Seneca, philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero, lived in constant danger, where a single misstep could cost his life. Yet instead of drowning in fear, he focused on what he could control: his thoughts and actions. In letters to Lucilius, he wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By recognizing this, Seneca reframed anxiety into a mental exercise, a tool to strengthen resilience. That is why even in the heart of power and peril, he remained calm and lucid. Modern science has also confirmed the power of reframing. The study, Reappraising Stress Arousal Improves Performance and Reduces Rumination, by Jeremy P. Jamieson and colleagues, 2010, revealed that when students were guided to view pre-exam anxiety as a helpful form of physiological preparation rather than as a threat, they performed significantly better on their tests compared to the control group. A simple shift in perspective turned the same event, in this case, exam pressure, into a completely different outcome. Reframing isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing the lens through which we view it. Instead of saying, "I'm stuck in traffic," try, "I have time to listen to that podcast I've been putting off." Instead of, "This criticism is unfair," say, "This is a chance to practice patience and maybe learn a new perspective." Obstacles don't disappear, but their weight lessens when you shift how you carry them. And here lies another Stoic principle: distinguish what is within your control from what is not. The weather, other people's words, the economy, these lie outside your hands. But your thoughts, your choices, your actions are yours alone. If you chase control over the uncontrollable, exhaustion and despair follow. But if you direct your energy to what you truly command, freedom and strength emerge. Try this today. Draw 2 columns. On the left, write what you cannot control: traffic, criticism, the past. On the right, write what you can control: your patience, your honesty, your effort. The next time adversity strikes, return to this list. Anchor yourself in the right-hand column. That is where your true power lives. Imagine a world where people practice this daily. Less resentment, less blame, more creativity, more compassion. When you change the frame, you not only reshape your own life, you inspire others to do the same. And now, as our journey unfolds, we turn to a practice that helps us sustain this mindset: mindfulness. If reframing is about shifting perspective, mindfulness is the light that illuminates every corner of the mind, grounding us in presence and clarity. That is where we go next. Number 6. Mindfulness practices for a Stoic life. Have you ever wondered why some days vanish in the blink of an eye, while certain moments feel like they stretch into eternity? The difference isn't in time itself, it's in how present you are. When your mind is lost in past regrets or racing toward imagined futures, you miss the life unfolding before you. But when you pause, take a deep breath, and fully arrive in the now, the world sharpens, clearer, fuller, more meaningful. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Confine yourself to the present." It isn't a simple reminder, it's a way of life. By anchoring yourself in the present, you are no longer chained by ghosts of the past or consumed by the shadows of tomorrow. You act with clarity. You live with wholeness. So how can you practice this? Start with small things. When you sip your morning tea, don't let your thoughts drift to unread emails. Truly taste it. Feel the warmth in your hands. Notice your heartbeat. When you talk with someone you love, don't half listen while checking your phone. Give them your full presence. That presence deepens connection, making the moment sacred. Another practice, mindful breathing. You don't need hours, just 3 to 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Watch each thought rise and fall like passing clouds. Don't chase them. Don't resist them. Just observe. This is training the mind to witness without being enslaved by impulse, to respond with calm instead of reacting blindly. Mindfulness can also be woven into ordinary routines. Washing dishes, walking down the street, even being stuck in traffic. Instead of irritation, see it as practice. Notice your breath, the rhythm around you, the patience within you. Every moment becomes a gym for your soul. Stoicism doesn't demand you suppress emotion. It asks you to see it, know it, and then decide, does this deserve to guide my action? Mindfulness is the tool for that decision. For when you are present, you are not dragged by emotion. You hold the reins. Ask yourself, how long has it been since you truly lived a moment fully, not just existed, but lived? You can begin today. Choose one moment to stop, observe, and immerse yourself. Even one moment can soften the world, steady your mind, and awaken your freedom. And with practice, the change becomes clear. Less stress, fewer reckless reactions, more peace. This is the Stoic path, a life awake, deliberate, and profound. But how do we carry this awareness into work, family, and relationships? That is the challenge ahead. And before we step into it, I invite you to comment below. I choose to live fully in the present. Write it as a commitment to yourself and to your journey of freedom and clarity. Number 7, living stoically through thoughtful response. The truth is, we don't collapse under one great disaster. We are worn down by countless small reactions, repeated day after day. A sharp word, a dismissive glance, a plan unexpectedly derailed. Each seems minor, but together they shape the quality of our lives. The one who reacts impulsively spins in exhaustion. The one who responds wisely holds on to freedom and dignity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Today I escaped anxiety." Or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. These words reveal a powerful truth. Storms of anger, fear, or worry don't come from the outside world. They rise within our perception. For the Stoics, every moment, no matter how small, was training for the mind. A harsh word from a colleague, a delay on the road, a family disagreement. Each one is an invitation to replace reaction with deliberate response. Living this way doesn't mean becoming cold or suppressing emotion. It means living with awareness and compassion, just like the spirit of Christ's compassion. Choosing forgiveness over resentment, gratitude over bitterness, trust over despair. Each choice lays another stone on the path of inner strength. Step by step, you become the architect of peace, not the victim of circumstance. Start small. When someone interrupts you, resist the urge to snap, pause, listen, and answer calmly. When work piles up, instead of lashing out, pause, write down the 3 most important tasks and begin with focus. When conflict erupts at home, remember, peace in your family matters more than winning the argument. These small responses, practiced daily, slowly reshape who you are. Of course, you'll stumble. There will be moments when impulse takes over, but each time you notice it, pause and choose a different response, you've already won. Like chiseling a rough stone, every strike refines the sculpture. Little by little, you carve a stronger, calmer self. See life as your training ground. Each challenge is an exercise. You don't need to seek hardship elsewhere. It's already in the small frustrations and surprises of each day. And when you begin to see them this way, even adversity becomes an ally, shaping you into someone deeper, steadier, and stronger. Number 8. Practical habits for a responsive mindset. There is a river of consciousness flowing within each of us. At times it runs clear and gentle, reflecting the peaceful light of the sky. At others, it rushes wild and turbulent, threatening to sweep us away. Every thought you generate is like a small stream feeding into the river. Every action, a current. Every habit, an underground force silently shaping its direction. Do you want this river to flow calm and pure, bringing cool waters of clarity and peace to all it touches? Or will you let it grow muddy and violent, destroying your own sense of serenity and joy? Because in the end, no one but you decides what flows into that river. And the only question is, Where will you choose to let your mind flow? The Stoics left us with a timeless reminder. Epictetus once said in Discourses, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not found in escaping hardship, but in mastering the mind that meets it. And to do this, you don't need lofty philosophies, you need small, daily practices, as steady and nourishing as raindrops feeding an entire forest. Begin in the morning. Before rushing into the day, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what will I choose today to protect my peace? That single question is like clearing a patch of soil, ready to plant a seed of mindfulness. During the day, when frustration arises, pause. That pause is the fertile ground where weeds cannot grow. Instead, plant a seed of goodwill. Stuck in traffic, instead of fuming, use the moment to finish a favorite song or podcast. Criticized at work? Instead of reacting defensively, see it as fertilizer, unpleasant, yes, but nourishing for growth. In the evening, make it a habit to write a short journal entry. Recall a moment when you responded instead of reacted. This is how you harvest the fruits from your inner garden, even if it's just a single bloom. Gratitude in Christ teaches us to cherish the challenges we've overcome and to honor the wise choices we've made along the way. For it is gratitude that nourishes the soul, enriching the mind and steadying the spirit day by day. But remember, no garden blooms overnight. It takes patience. It takes persistence. One seed, one pause, one choice at a time. Yet over days and weeks, you'll witness something miraculous. The more intentional responses you plant, the more vibrant your inner garden becomes. So ask yourself, what seed will you plant today? A pause instead of an outburst, a smile instead of a scowl, compassion instead of judgment. Write it down. The seed I planted today is. Let it be your commitment, your marker on this journey. Because when you cultivate a garden of mindful responses, you don't just grow flowers of peace for yourself. You create shade and nourishment for everyone around you. And slowly, without even realizing, you'll find that your life itself has become the garden you once dreamed of. We've just walked together through a journey of awareness and self-mastery, from understanding the difference between reacting and responding, to realizing why intentional response matters so deeply in today's chaotic world. We've practiced mindfulness to cultivate inner peace, learned how to bring Stoic principles into everyday moments, and planted small daily habits to build a steady, resilient way of life, one that begins from within. Stoic philosophy is not abstract theory. It is a practical toolkit, a way to live with clarity, courage, and a free mind in the midst of uncertainty. And every single day you choose to respond rather than react, you are not only strengthening yourself, you are radiating calm and strength to those around you. If today's reflections spark something within you, let that be the beginning of a longer journey. Leave a comment with just one sentence. Next time, I'll choose calm over chaos. This journey of training the mind does not end here. As this screen fades, the next videos will open new doors, leading you toward peace, resolve, and a more meaningful life. Keep walking, because you deserve a mind that nothing can shake.